104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Our friend Matthew Verderame from Fansided joining us right now. For everybody who, like myself, is sick of hearing these Patriots fans mock us, how did Jacksonville screw this up?
I think it was a combination of Tom Brady being Tom Brady, and I think it was a little bit of Jacksonville getting tight in the moment. I think they got conservative in the second half of the game. They weren't as creative. They were so creative in the first half, and then all of a sudden it seemed as though they were almost waiting for the clock to run out. And so you take a big chance against New England and that offense when you do it. And we saw, as we've seen so many times before, Brady finding a way to beat a defense that had confounded him earlier in the game.
All right, so Blake Bortles is getting the abuse from some people still somehow. Did you see enough from him that you like the fact that he's going to be a quarterback for Jacksonville next year, or should they call for Eli?
I would still look around. Look, Bortles, I thought, played very well in the playoffs. Got to give the man credit where it was due. He was bad against Buffalo, even though they won the game, and he was average against Pittsburgh. But he played very well against New England. Just didn't go his way. I don't think it was his fault, though, by any stretch they lost. That being said, look, he turns the ball over too much. His completion percentage is usually under 60%. This year he had a career high of 60.2. I think they should be looking at Alex Smith. They should be looking if Eli Manning becomes available. I would certainly look at that. I would look at Kirk Cousins if they think they can afford him. I would be certainly exploring other options, but I think at least if they keep Bortles past this year, you at least feel like there's a chance that he's maybe developing into something better than what he's been.
The Patriots advanced to the Super Bowl, but we've seen this so many times before, a double-digit deficit, and New England's able to come back. Why does this keep happening? Why has no other team been able to figure out a formula of how to slow down the Patriots' comeback in the fourth quarter?
I think just like with some of the other great quarterbacks in history, whether you want to talk about Montana, Unitas, Elway, you name it, those guys raise their game as the game goes on. And we've seen that so many times out of Brady. I think with Jacksonville, look, they arguably had the best defense in football this year. In fact, I don't even think it really is arguable. But as that game wore on and Brady got to see more and more of what they were doing and he started to figure it out, he was able to beat it. I think with Brady, the only way to beat him for 4 straight quarters is to hit him, to pressure him, to continuously get home. And Jacksonville did a great job of that early in the game. But as that game went on, he got more and more time. Same thing happened against Atlanta last year in the Super Bowl. You've got to be able to pressure him all throughout the game.
Matt Verderame from Fansided with us right now on 104.5 The Team. And meanwhile, like, you know, as you know, we were really hoping to cover the Vikings in Minnesota. How did Philadelphia just make them look so pedestrian?
I got to be honest, I was shocked. I thought that game would be a coin flip. I didn't think Minnesota was going to ball them out by any stretch, but Philly just absolutely housed them from start to finish. And I think a lot of it was, look, the Eagles did a great job of getting home with Keenum. They hit him. They harassed him. The first interception, that was a pick six. It was because they hit him as he threw the ball. They strip sacked him at another point in the game that was key in the second quarter. So I thought for Philly, that front seven dominated the game. And then offensively, look, give him credit. Foles had the game literally of his career. He played the best game he's ever played. And is that replicatable in the Super Bowl? I don't know. That might be something where he just can't do that again. But in that game, every time Minnesota made a mistake, he made them pay. And give credit to Doug Peterson. He had a very innovative game plan. They really stretched Minnesota out. They put some double moves on him, which you typically don't do against a pass-rushing team. But they were able to hold up front, and they made him pay.
It's that Doug Peterson part you brought up at the end that really intrigues me about this matchup, that whether it's a second-year guy in Carson Wentz, whether it's Nick Foles, Peterson's continued to find a way to make this work. When he goes into this matchup against Bill Belichick, is he one of these newer, fresher coaches that is going to continue to almost give these new looks that New England may not be ready for?
I think it's a very hard matchup for New England because, look, Peterson learned at the knee of Andy Reid, right? He was a player under him at the end of his career, and then certainly he was he's an offensive coordinator in Kansas City. And so when you look at who's given Belichick the hardest time in his career in a lot of ways, it's been Andy Reid, maybe other than Tom Coughlin, giving him the hardest time. So what you see when the Chiefs play them a lot of times, a lot of different kinds of motions, sets, and unique formations, you're going to see that out of Philadelphia because Andy Reid was a direct influence on Peterson. So I expect Philadelphia to give them a myriad of looks, to switch things up, and to really utilize multiple tight end sets. I think that has been something that's been a problem for New England all year long, and I think it's something that you're going to see quite a bit of out of Peterson. I really do. I think it's a very tough matchup for the Pats.
Matt Verderame from Fansided with us right now, 104.5 The Team. The lore of Bill Belichick is he takes away what you like most, your best weapon. Who is that for Philadelphia on the offense?
That's a great point, and I think that's another reason why it's tough, right? Like, you're not looking at them and saying, well, that's the one guy, and if they stop him, they're in great shape. I think maybe they try to take away Jeffrey in the game just because he's such a big guy, he's a big target. Foles can throw the ball up, and Jeffrey can go make a play. But they have other receivers. Torrey Smith isn't a good receiver necessarily. He's got bad hands, but he can get deep. He can make a big play in the game. Aguilar's really stepped up. They've got good tight ends. And Ertz, he's another candidate certainly for them to try and take away in this game. Maybe they'll bracket him. Trey Burton is a good young second tight end for them, and that power running game of Ajayi and Blunt. If Philadelphia is going to win, they've got to be able to run the football, and so I am very interested to see that matchup, that running back group against New England's front seven.
Unfortunately, you won't be joining us this year at Radio Row, which we're bummed out about. So take us through what this year's Super Bowl Sunday is going to be like with Matt Verderame. And I know you have the new daughter there, so do you have to be a little bit more quiet during Super Bowl Sunday? Can you still have as much fun? Take us through your Super Bowl Sunday now.
I do have a new daughter, but she will be at home with my lovely wife. I'll be in the office here at Fansided in Chicago, and so I will be I'll be running our team and making sure we're getting everything done. But we're going to have, hey, listen, we're going to have the spread. After all, it is Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to have a nice little party here as we cover the game, and I'm sure we'll be here from noon to midnight. So it'll be a long one, but we're going to be doing a ton of stuff here. And while I wish I could be up with you guys in Minnesota this year, fortunately for family and for professional reasons, just was not in the cards. So I'll be a few hours away down in Chicago enjoying a slice of pizza watching the game.
All right, so when you're done eating that pizza and the confetti's falling on the field, who's the winner? Does Philly finally get their win in the Super Bowl?
I think Philly's got a really good chance, but I have to take New England. I have to. Right. You can't. I mean, that team is just such a dynastic franchise. You got to roll with them. You got to roll with them. I don't know how you could.
Well, you're an upstate New York guy. You went to Oswego. Deep dish pizza in Chicago or New York style pizza on Super Bowl Sunday?
First of all, okay. New York style pizza is much better.
Correct.
All right, and I will fight anybody in Chicago over that. So it will be I run the office on Sundays. It will be New York style pizza.
Don't mess with his pie. It's Verderame from Fansided, man. We are going to miss you in Minnesota, so that means we're going to have to figure out a reason. Maybe you can come here and cover our new Arena Football League team, the Empire, and that way we can get out and grab a couple of cold ones.
Hey, absolutely. I look forward. I'll be home many times over the summer when the NFL finally slows down. We'll get together. We'll make it happen.
All right, brother. Be good, and we appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks, guys. Take care.